With almost 200,000 hotels on the planet, it takes something special to stand out from the crowd.
Some hotels achieve a status that goes beyond 5 stars.
Proper service.
You have everything you could possibly want.
And satisfy the world's most demanding guests.
It's not uncommon for us to check in more than 2,000 people on a given day.
I think of bottomless luxury, timeless elegance, no expense spared.
It is no surprise for a guest to spend anywhere between $70,000 and $90,000 on room service alone.
Today, we're checking in to a Hollywood legend.
You almost feel like you're on a movie set.
With a past as star-studded as the silver screen.
Everyone in the Hollywood industry has had a moment here.
It's been the place to see and be seen.
This is where Clark Gable walked. This is where Marilyn Monroe walked. This is where stars of today walk.
More deals went down in that room than you could possibly imagine.
Where the customer is king.
2 bottles of vodka would be delivered with breakfast, and 2 bottles of vodka would be delivered with lunch. Sounds like a fun couple.
It's one of the leading lights of the hospitality trade.
It will always be one of the greatest hotels in the world.
Beverly Hills, California. Home to the Hollywood elite and one of the most famous suburbs in the world. Rising above Sunset Boulevard, this celebrity playground is a byword for luxury and glamour. Here and across LA are renowned hotels like the mysterious Chateau Marmont, L'Hermitage, and the Beverly Wilshire. But there is one place, the original, that's been the star of the neighborhood for over 100 years.
When you think of the Beverly Hills Hotel, you think of Hollywood glamour. Pink cocktails, banana leaves, the Oscars, people in long dresses and chiffon, and that all works rather nicely.
Director of Guest Relations Steve Boggs oversees each stay at the Beverly Hills Hotel from start to finish.
We are standing at the entrance, and that's a capital T, the entrance to Beverly Hills Hotel. This is the first thing the guests see when they pull up.
It is Hollywood from the word go. Step into the Beverly Hills Hotel and you almost feel like you're on a movie set.
This is one of the most photographed spots at the hotel. People always come here to the red carpet. All we need is, paparazzi lights going off in their faces to make them feel like they're actually at a premiere.
Around 270,000 guests a year walk in the footsteps of Hollywood royalty to check in the iconic lobby complete with Venetian glass chandelier.
The lobby has gone through a lot of incarnations over the decades. When it first opened, it had heavy wood, big columns. Recently, for our 100th anniversary in 2012, we brightened it up, made the columns smaller, just opened it up, put in this Venetian plaster. But the one thing that hasn't changed, and I'll show you, pardon me behind the bush, is the fireplace. It's just a way of welcoming people into the hotel. It's been here since 1912. We've kept it going ever since. We call it the eternal flame.
Despite the roaring log fire, the five-star hotel sits in 12 acres of tropical gardens. With over 180 different plants, it keeps the 7 gardeners busy. But hidden amongst the foliage, there's 23 secluded bungalows. They've housed the rich and famous and seen secrets and scandals.
The bungalows have been one of the most celebrated aspects of the hotel, and stars really love that because they have the total privacy.
This hotel cum jungle is right in the center of prosperous Beverly Hills. But when it was first conceived, the landscape was very different.
It's the early 20th century, and a lot of the people who are moving west are actually hoping to find oil.
A group of investors headed by Burton Green had bought a stretch of land west of LA from the Mexican government.
The only thing that could grow were lima beans. The rest of it looked like scrub brush. The land was acquired by the Rodeo Land and Water Company to look for oil here. They didn't find it. And so what they did find was some water.
With this equally precious commodity, they pounced, named the area Beverly Hills, and set about trying to build a community.
At the time, Los Angeles ended about 7 miles east of us, and there was no reason to come out here. So these investors said, if we want people to buy these homes that we're selling, we need to give them a reason to be in Beverly Hills.
They needed an attraction for their new town, and a Pied Piper to draw the crowds.
Margaret Anderson was my great-grandmother, and she owned the Hollywood Hotel, which was the biggest hotel in Hollywood. Started off with a 26-room in 1904, and eventually built it out to 250 rooms. And she was approached by the Rodeo Land and Water Company to come to Beverly Hills and build her dream hotel.
Costing $500,000, in May of 1912, the hotel opened, causing an instant splash.
What we're looking at here is a copy of the original opening invitation, and this is an actual picture of the party held at the Beverly Hills Hotel for the opening. And trust me, anybody who was anybody in Los Angeles at that time was in this room. This is the beginning of it all.
Beverly Hills Hotel turned out to be in the right place at exactly the right time. Hollywood was just beginning, and the stars who were looking for places to live, well, they needed somewhere to stay. And so the producers, the actors, everybody gravitated towards the Beverly Hills Hotel.
The hotel flourished, even surviving Prohibition. And in the mid-1930s, after it ended, they opened a cocktail lounge. It quickly became a favorite haunt of the polo-playing elite.
In some cases, they'd tie their horses up front. Come here, thankfully there was no, DWIs for riding horses intoxicated. And the owner of the hotel at the time, Hernando Courtright, after a while, he actually just went ahead and named the restaurant the Polo Lounge.
The Polo Lounge became and remains the place for stars to meet and movie moguls to cut a deal.
Please, come with me, please show you.
Polo Lounge director Pepe de Anda has worked at the hotel for 33 years.
In this area, this is the alcove, and this is very famous for the booths.
The Polo Lounge is the best restaurant to go to in all of Beverly Hills. A lot of celebrities have favorite booths.
Booth number 8 was the favorite of Elizabeth Taylor. Sharon Stone is the favorite booth. Harrison Ford, Charlton Heston, and one of the famous actors from London, Richard Harris. You don't know who's going to be walking to the Polo Lounge door.
You can hear just a little bit of someone's conversation and just be like, wow, this place is special.
It was here in 2013 that actress Lindsay Lohan was reportedly spotted writing a list of all her Hollywood heartthrob conquests to impress her friends. A figure alleged to have been, at that time, 36, including some very big A-listers.
It's also a place of business. A lot of big influencers have gone there to do big blockbuster movie deals.
Number 1 is famous for Charlie Chaplin, Johnny Carson, Ed McMahon.
I think we termed the coin power. Power breakfast, power lunch. People come here to ink deals.
Table number 3 was the favorite booth of Frank Sinatra.
Everyone in the Hollywood industry at some point has had a moment here where they met the person that hired them for their next job.
I think probably more deals went down in that room than you could possibly imagine.
We jokingly say that if those walls could talk, we'd have to have them killed.
To be around all this glamour with celebrities, music, is the best job in the world.
And some of the dishes at the Polo Lounge are as famous as the stars that munch them.
You can't have 5-star property without 5-star world-class food, so it has to match.
Executive chef Michael Santoro has an army of 63 kitchen staff to make sure that every whim is catered for. Their signature dish is named after the polo player Neil McCarthy. It might not be caviar and lobster, but it's been a hotel staple for decades.
So here we have the McCarthy Salad, which is the #1 selling dish at this property since probably 1950, late 1950s. So this is just a romaine lettuce that's been very finely chopped. We have a tomato concasse. So there are 4 full-time employees dedicated to preparing and making this salad. We sell 600 a week, about $1.4 million a year in this salad. So it's keeping the lights on. This could never come off the menu. If this was ever taken off, I think there would probably be pitchforks and they would storm the castle, pretty quickly. Diced chicken that's been grilled, cheddar cheese that's been diced as well, and then we have an avocado. So if you're coming to the Polo Lounge, you're gonna spend some money, you're gonna valet, you're gonna do the whole 9 yards, you're gonna have the signature dish, which is a McCarthy, and it's pretty much your meal.
The $43 salad is allegedly a favorite of Kim Kardashian's, and actress Joan Collins is said to like hers in a half portion with extra avocado.
A lot of people visit nowadays, from Nicole Kidman, Leonardo DiCaprio, Russell Crowe. It's a very popular place.
It's the only place in the world I could ever order a hamburger. But don't tell anyone.
In Beverly Hills, there is a hotel that predates the city itself. A beacon that lured in Hollywood royalty that's become as famous as the stars that have stayed there.
This is where Clark Gable walked. This is where Marilyn Monroe walked. This is where stars of today walk. I'll meet them at the front and welcome them in.
Once in the hotel, there are 210 rooms and suites. But you'll need upwards of $595 a night to sleep in one of the most exclusive zip codes, 90210.
I mean, where else would you stay if you went to Los Angeles? There is nowhere else.
And for those that have even deeper pockets, the hotel also has a rather unusual feature. 23 secluded bungalows hidden amongst the lush grounds with a starting price of $1,900 a night.
It's like a little oasis in an otherwise sometimes rather depressing city. Everything is calming.
So you have people who come here, not just because of the privacy, although that certainly is one aspect. I mean, if you look around, you've got this beautiful foliage, beautiful landscaping, so it feels like you're on a private estate in the tropics or the south of France, and it just doesn't feel like you're in the heart of Los Angeles.
And, as if these weren't enough, in 2011 they turned 2 underused tennis courts into 2 presidential bungalows that are now the most popular and the most expensive rooms in the hotel.
All right, so this is bungalow 23. What makes this bungalow unique is, one, its size. It's the largest bungalow we have. It has 3 bedrooms, massive living room. You've got the jumbo TV, your own private study and office, a massive master bedroom, tons of outdoor space. It has a sitting area outside the bedroom with a fire pit. Has 2 other bedrooms down the hall, one is which is a small suite. It's got a pass-through shower, so you have a shower indoor, outdoor shower. But what is probably the most unique feature of this suite and the other presidential is its private swimming pool. It goes to being fortunate. We were the first ones here, so we get to do what we want. We have the land to do it. You just can't replicate that anymore.
But for the privilege, you'll need to spend that deposit you've been saving for a house.
It is $25,000 a night, and some people take it because it's the most expensive suite. They never use the pool, never use the office, but it's the best, therefore I have to have it. So we're happy to have them.
But it was back in the 1940s when the hotel had its most important facelift. They called in architect to the stars, Paul Williams, who also happened to be the first African-American member of the American Institute of Architects.
Despite teachers, counselors telling him, there's no place for a black architect. Your black peers and family cannot afford to hire you, and white people won't hire you. And despite people telling Paul Revere Williams that he cannot do it, he transcended those barriers that are traditionally in place for Black architects.
He would turn the traditional hotel into a world-famous style icon.
Paul Williams is known, he's a fresh designer, there's buzz about him. And so the hotel owner reaches out to Paul Williams and meets with him. Paul Williams puts together a great team, and they go about the task of reimagining the Beverly Hills Hotel.
And he felt, since we're on Sunset Boulevard, since we have this gorgeous California sky, that the hotel should blend in with the colors of the sunset, California sunset. So that's why he painted it pink.
It's down to this Paul Williams pink that the hotel has been given its affectionate nickname.
You would think, well, how much pink can you use? And he used enough pink to where it became known as the Pink Palace. However, he used it in a very strategic and tactful way, which you felt very appropriate. It emotes something that makes you feel at ease.
The color is actually branded and copyrighted to us. It has a very specific number. Don't ask me what it is, I have no idea. I just know that it's ours, and that if I wanted to paint my house this way, I'd have to get permission from somebody.
And it wasn't just a lick of paint. The architect created many elements of what makes the Pink Palace what it is today.
He's the one that built what we call the crescent wing, where it says the Beverly Hills. That's actually his handwriting. So he built that, he put in the coffee shop. He really designed the hotel to what it's known for today.
And you can tell Paul Williams' touch is Hollywood style, that it's grand, but yet restrained. So it's palm leaves, the green stripes, and then the Beverly Hills Hotel script. That all comes from Paul Williams' like Beaux-Arts kind of style, but at the same time expanding it to a Hollywood kind of grandiosity. You put it all together, and it's architectural. And I think that was his genius.
It wasn't just the exterior to get a makeover. The interior got a leafy facelift that is now synonymous with the hotel.
Probably the most iconic feature, maybe second to the actual design of the building itself, is our wallpaper. It's actually called Martinique.
You will see it when you're walking down the halls to the suites. You'll see it in the corridors. You'll see it in the fountain coffee room. It's everywhere, and it consistently reminds you of the pure sophistication that the hotel has.
You see this banana leaf print now on skirts and clothing. You see in our gift shop, we have tennis shoes specifically made with the banana leaf print.
And this tropical motif is something the hotel has quite a lot of.
We got 5.5 miles of it all over the hotel. Frequently, I'll see women standing up against the wall, blending in while someone takes their photo.
If the hotel were to replace all the wallpaper, it would set them back over $2 million. It might look at home in the Jungle Cafe, but this isn't just any old wallpaper.
As wallpaper, it is absolutely the one that most people in the world would strive to own in their homes. I think it is the most recognizable wallpaper in the world, but again, I'm biased.
C.W. Stockwell, the company that created this now world-famous design, have been hand-printing it using traditional methods since 1942.
Martinique is a 6-screen print, which means that there's 6 different individual colors and 6 different screens that are required to make the motifs and to allow the sort of layers of color. So the first screen that gets laid down is the deepest of the burgundy shades, and you can see There's just this much purple, but it's exactly what you need to add that depth and richness to Martinique. And then we move on to the second screen, which is the deepest of the 3 greens that are involved. And so then they'll come back with 2 more shades of green, the shade of the mustard yellow, and the black as well. So it's quite a labor of love to get the depth of color as you're seeing here. Es mejor que el último, ¿no? Much better, right? Yeah, it's really strong. I think that the team here, I love that it's from the Beverly Hills Hotel. They all know that. And each of them have shown me different celebrity photos of the paper that they've made. So they have very much a pride of place with this particular pattern. And a lot of these guys have been making it for 20 years now.
There are some things you just can't change in this hotel. You can't change the McCarthy Salad, you can't change the color of the building, and you can't change the wallpaper.
The whole atmosphere and ambiance of the hotel also truly defines that era in Hollywood, which is, I think, why it has such a lasting power and such a splendor that everybody wants to have even a little piece of.
So, by the end of the 1940s, the hotel's metamorphosis was complete.
It's hard to even say that it was the same building after Paul Williams got through with it. Even today, you look at it and you want to go in. You want to interact with this building because you know it offers something special. It just has its curves, it has its coffered ceilings. You feel Paul Williams everywhere. Every part of the hotel has his hand on it. And that's what's special about the transformation.
And one of Paul Williams' suites in particular has been kept in the same retro style since it was built in 1948. But don't worry, they have changed the sheets.
So this is my most favorite suite in the hotel. It's not the biggest, doesn't have its own swimming pool, but it has the most history of all the suites. This is one of our more popular suites amongst people because they get it. It was designed by Paul Williams, so when he redid the hotel, he redid all the rooms. This suite we've kept as something like dipped in amber. If you were here in 1948, you would see exactly the same. This also was Prince's favorite suite. He would come in here and he would sit down at this piano and he would play music. He'd listen to music until the wee hours of the morning. We used to have to black out all the windows so that he could sleep during the day, and then he'd wake up and start over again.
I heard Prince was trying to serenade a girl from the garden, and somebody yelled out the window for him to knock it off. You know, I mean, there's some, mystique going on here.
The hotel is entrenched in modern popular culture. It even served as inspiration for a famous 1976 hit by rock legends, the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles loved the Beverly Hills Hotel, and they actually wrote a song about the hotel called Hotel California. And the album cover as well was the exterior of the hotel.
I've loved this song all my life, and now here I am at the Hotel California. And I'll turn it on full blast as I pull in, so the valet attendants, when they get my car, they'll hear it playing, and I'm going, ah, yeah, ha, 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 ha.
In Beverly Hills, USA, there's a hotel that since 1912 has catered to the whims of the most famous stars of the silver screen.
When Sidney Poitier won his Oscar for Lilies in the Field back in the 60s, he was so excited, he came out of the Polo Lounge, took off his shoes, and danced through the lobby, down the red carpet, waving his Oscar.
And since its 1940s makeover, the hotel has barely changed.
Every brand strives to think about that very delicate balance between embracing the past and really honoring it. They really have had to stay true to how it was originally, because that's how people want it to be when they get there.
A decade before the Beverly Hills Hotel's big refurb, they would add a watery attraction that proved a splash with the movers and shakers.
Pool was put in about the 30s. When they first built it, they had a sand and pool theme. It was supposed to be like a beach. The cabanas were built at about the same time. Then they changed again in the 40s. They took out the sand. They realized it was messing up the works in the pool.
Since then, the swimming pool has been more than just a place to take a dip.
The swimming pool at the Beverly Hills Hotel is obviously the place to be seen. It's elegant, it's timeless, and you know that whenever you go, you will always bump into friends. And that is one of the greatest joys of staying there.
This is one of those things that can never be recreated here in Los Angeles. We're on 12 acres in the most expensive real estate in the world. You can't duplicate this. Every hotel that's built now, all the pools are up on the roof. So you can't duplicate the cabanas, you can't duplicate the space.
But in Beverly Hills, even relaxing appears to be hard work.
It's deceptively relaxed because actually everybody is standing to attention. You're either a massive film fan, you could be an entertainment journalist seeking out the story, or you could just be a superstar walking through waiting for your next break. So either way, you have to spend a lot of effort looking as relaxed as possible.
Those that dreamt of stardom used the pool to launch their big break.
We used to have a high dive. They called it the casting high dive because all these actors and actresses, starlets at the time, would always get up, walk very slowly to the high dive, slowly walk the length of it and do a perfect dive into the pool, hoping at some point someone would notice them.
It's been said that former Olympic swimmer Johnny Weissmuller won his role as the legendary Tarzan after a movie producer saw him save someone from drowning in the hotel pool. But high-board heroics weren't the only way to get noticed.
We had a paging system down here. And we used to have, it was a little person, and he'd wear the hat, and he'd walk around with a phone. And people would actually have themselves paged at the pool, like, you know, telephone call for Mr. Smith, telephone call for Mr. Smith, and he'd stand up very loudly, "I'm Mr. Smith," and they'd say, "Right away, sir." And they'd come over, and he'd plug in the phone, and he'd sit there having a conversation with himself for a while.
The paging tradition back in the day is equivalent to doing a hashtag on Instagram these days or tagging your location. It's a way to show people, I'm here, I'm at the Beverly Hills Hotel, I'm poolside, I'm at the cabana, wherever you may be. It's a way to show that off.
But some people are just much cooler at showing off than others.
We've had a very famous shot with Faye Dunaway. She just won her Oscar in the 70s for Network. Her boyfriend at the time was Terry O'Neill, very famous photographer, and he took these amazing glamour shots of her with her Oscar, early morning, with the newspaper spread around her, gazing lovingly at her Oscar. And what's interesting is, if you look, that picture has been copied several times. Other actors and directors recently who've won an Oscar have come down to the pool and recreated that shot of them with their Oscar, gazing lovingly at it at the Beverly Hills Hotel pool.
Sometimes, though, a hotel stay is as much about not being seen.
I think one of the main things that celebrities are protected from the door all the way through. There's an underground parking lot if they don't want to be seen. There's the main grand entrance, but there's security everywhere.
For 107 years, we have been keeping people's privacy. We have been guarding their privacy, protecting their privacy. So it's something that we're very proud of that we do today.
But some guests are harder than others to keep under the radar.
The Beatles were at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and they had a little dip in the pool after hours.
But we had to sneak them in. If you see over there past the bar in the cabana, there's a little side entrance, a little secret entrance. To get them in and out of the hotel, we bring them around the back and sneak them into the hotel that way.
High flyers and celebrities have often favored staying in the hidden bungalows, and 5 of these are now themed after their most well-known occupants. With their talent for keeping secrets, the hotel attracted one of the richest and most reclusive men in the world, movie producer and business magnate Howard Hughes. He stayed at the hotel just a bit longer than your average guest.
So Howard Hughes was with us off and on for 3 decades, 40s, 50s, and 60s, almost 30 years. He was in Bungalow 4 and Bungalow 3 predominantly, but he would take several other bungalows One, to house starlets, some of his staff, but mostly to throw people off, so people would never know which room he was in. He was one of our more odd guests. In fact, the only person that ever knew exactly which bungalow he was staying in was the executive chef.
He famously loved the steak sandwich, and he had requested that the staff leave his steak sandwich in the crook of a tree. And that's where he would pick up his steak sandwich every day. And as quirky as it is, it's never too quirky for the hotel, and that's what makes it so special.
But when it comes to Hollywood royalty, there's none bigger than a certain blonde bombshell.
All right, so this is Bungalow 1. The most famous, legendary guest Bungalow 1 has seen was Marilyn Monroe.
I think Marilyn loved the Beverly Hills Hotel because there she'd have her privacy and she didn't have to think about being Marilyn Monroe. She could just be herself.
There's this amazing old black and white photo of Marilyn Monroe sitting on a bench, posing, and they actually have a bench just like that sitting right in front. So if you wanted to recreate that photo and feel like Marilyn Monroe, you really could. And Bungalow 1A has now been redecorated, inspired by Marilyn Monroe.
And it would set you back a mere $8,500 a night.
We used a lot of her inspiration. So we used a lot of her colors, some of the fabrics that she liked, some of the designs that were popular during the 40s and 50s. And also, we've made it sort of a whole Marilyn Monroe experience. You know, that very famous line when she was being interviewed, "What do you wear to bed?" And she goes, "I wear Chanel No. 5. So we actually have a Chanel No. 5 bar.
They have a menu that is Marilyn Monroe inspired. You can order the Marilyn Monroe Sundae. So you can really just sit in this beautiful bungalow and feel this glamorous lifestyle that Marilyn Monroe felt.
When guests get peckish, executive pastry chef Brooke Martin and her team are ready to whip up one of the blonde bombshell's favorite puds.
I love Marilyn Monroe. Who doesn't? She'd always ask for a side of extra fudge sauce. And of course, the classics of chocolate and vanilla ice cream. Added in the classic malt foam. Whipped cream, of course. When it walks out into the Polo Lounge, and everyone asks, what is that? And they want one. So then we're gonna finish it with a little sour cherry. We have a waffle cone, pink cotton candy. It's what I think of Marilyn, the pink lipstick, the hair. It's just fun and playful, just like the hotel. And then in case you don't remember what Marilyn looked like, we put her right there so you can remember her on a Sundae in chocolate.
While guests devour their $20 sundae, they can imagine Marilyn doing the same after a hard day's shoot.
She used the hotel a lot of times when she was in town making a film, most notably in '58 for Some Like It Hot, and then she was back again for her longest stay in 1960 when she was doing Let's Make Love. She was married to Arthur Miller at that time, and her co-star in the film was Yves Montand, who was married to Simone Signoret. It was a musical comedy that told the story about a billionaire who falls in love with a chorus girl. The problem arose that the film took much longer than what they thought because there was a writer's strike in the middle of it. So production came to a halt for a while. So in the meantime, Arthur Miller had to go back to the East Coast because he was involved in another play that he had written. And Simone had a commitment, film commitment, so she had to go back to Europe, wherever she was filming it, which left Eve and Marilyn alone. The hotel is incredibly romantic. If you look outside the window of the bungalows, there's these lush grounds everywhere and flowers and birds. So it was inevitable they would fall in love a bit and have an affair.
The hotel was then to become the unwitting location of a cover-up operation.
The studios found out about it and decided to clean everything up, so they brought her then-husband Arthur Miller, the playwright, out. Yves Montand came out with his wife, Simone Signoret, and they had a life photographer come, and they had the ladies cook dinner for their husbands, and everyone sat down for a comfortable meal, saying, nothing's going on here, nothing's going on here. So that photo shoot was done here at the hotel, and those were in bungalows 20 and 21.
I definitely think that 1960 is a year of a lot of loss for her, in a sense. She lost what she had thought might be a relationship with Yves Montand. And I think she sensed that her husband was slipping away too. Don't think there was much of a relationship left at that point. And she, of course, never really had a relationship after that.
Sadly, it perhaps signaled her demise because 2 years later, Marilyn sadly died. So Beverly Hills Hotel did play quite a significant role in her life and career, really.
Coming up, the drinking habits of the famous.
2 bottles of vodka would be delivered with breakfast, and 2 bottles of vodka would be delivered with lunch. Sounds like a fun couple.
And the price of sleeping with the stars.
This is Marilyn Monroe's room. Can I sleep in her bed? Of course you can, for $7,000 a night.
The Beverly Hills Hotel has been welcoming guests from around the world for over a century. It helped give birth to a city and is renowned as the playground of Hollywood movie stars.
I actually went to the Beverly Hills Hotel when I was in LA to cover the Oscars, of course, and we spent a good half an hour standing around saying, don't you just want to bump into one person? And then we heard a voice saying, hey, you guys, what are you doing? And it turned out to be Chris Rock, and we thought, thank you, there is a God.
The Beverly Hills Hotel for me symbolizes a bygone era where everyone was someone, and you still feel a bit of that when you go there. It's one of the few places in Los Angeles that really does feel like that. I suppose for many staying at the hotel, provenance is what they're looking for, and to stay in a bungalow or in a suite that was lived in by a great movie star of the Gilded Age of cinema is incredibly appealing.
And one member of Hollywood royalty patronized the hotel more than most.
I've been in the lobby and seen Elizabeth Taylor come in, waving her arms and going, charge it, charge it. I mean, she was a fixture.
The hotel clearly left an impression on the movie starlet.
One of the bungalows is named after Liz Taylor. She loved the hotel, and she actually spent 6 of her 8 honeymoons at the hotel. That's how much she loved it.
But just maybe the secret to a long and happy marriage lies in holding off on the booze.
There's actually this tale that her and her husband, Richard Burton, had a delivery request where 2 bottles of vodka would be delivered with breakfast and 2 bottles of vodka would be delivered with lunch. Sounds like a fun couple.
But this 210-room hotel is more than just a celebrity hotspot. With prices ranging from $595 to $25,000 a night, guests' expectations are high.
My great-grandmother, Margaret, believed that giving your guests the best of everything, regardless of cost, was the only way to go about business.
I suppose what they try to achieve at the Beverly Hills Hotel is to make everyone feel as though they've been 100 times. And if you haven't, you're embraced. That's something Americans do very well, but especially at the Beverly Hills Hotel, because the staff have been there forever. They're part of the furniture.
Everyone is important to us. Doesn't matter if it's famous or a business person or tourist or anything, we treat everybody the same.
That goes for the staff too, as over 40 of the 600-strong team have worked here for over 25 years.
I think the secret to great service is for it to be seamless, for you not to have 6 waiters in front of you all the time, but for everything to happen without you even noticing, and that they get absolutely right.
We will give you as much service as you can possibly want, or as little as you possibly want. We cater every single stay to the guests. We try to make it as individualized, as personal as possible.
Before you arrive, the room is organized to your liking because they remember how you like the furniture. If you want your little desk by the window, you want your armchair here, you want... Everything is organized. They'll even change your mattress.
People want to sleep in Frank Sinatra's bed. I don't care who you are. Women today want to sleep in Marilyn Monroe's bed. This is Marilyn Monroe's room. Can I sleep in her bed? Of course you can, for $7,000 a night.
You might go to one hotel and it feels a little stuck up in LA. You might go to another hotel and it just feels like it's trying too hard. But the Beverly Hills Hotel has that perfect balance. And that's why celebrities will keep going back there, because it's authentic.
And having hosted the Glitterati for 107 years, this hotel has itself featured in over 30 films and TV shows, from Beverly Hills Cop to Saving Mr. Banks.
To have this jewel in the middle of this metropolis, to be able to have a hideaway in Beverly Hills, you know, I think it's the finest hotel in the world.
It's just such a big part of the city and such a big part of the community. I think people will be going there hundreds of years from now.
As long as the Beverly Hills Hotel doesn't dilute its aesthetic, its service, everything that it provides, its core, and it stays true to itself, it will always be one of the greatest hotels in the world.
And employee of 17 years, Stephen Boggs, takes that responsibility seriously.
Every once in a while, I think to myself, oh my God, we're in charge of this. We're in charge of making sure this does stay relevant. And our goal, again, if we do our jobs correctly, is to make sure that those people coming in here now come back here 50 years from now, when maybe their careers aren't the same. And God willing, I'll be here to say, remember that time when you ran naked through the hallway with the, oh, that was a good time. I just finished my 8th picture. So if we do our jobs right, yes, we will be around for at least another 100 years.